This is quickly becoming one of the most hyped up Nebraska football seasons in over a decade. There are a lot of expectations this year that Matt Rhule is going to take this big step forward that he always does, that Dylan Raiola is going to be potentially in the Heisman race, that the Huskers are a legit candidate for the college football playoff. But in order for that to happen, and there's a lot of smoke that it will, there is one massive obstacle that's in Matt Rhule's way that nobody's talking about. The one thing that is in between Nebraska from winning only 6 games to winning potentially 10, 11 and making this college football playoff. So in today's video, I'm going to go over Matt Rhule's biggest challenge going to 2025, how we can address it, and what this means for the season. So really quick, this is going to be a big time video, having an honest conversation. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And really quick, man, if you support the channel, it takes 2 seconds. We post daily content, Talking Huskers, only channel that does that. Please hit that subscribe button, join this family. Once again, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it, talking about the biggest obstacle that's in Matt Rhule's way from only winning 6 games next season to potentially being in the mix for the college football playoff. Nobody's talking about this. And this is none other than taking care in winning the games that you are actually supposed to win. Every year we look at the schedule and we get hyped up about the Michigan game. We get hyped about the Iowa game, the Penn State game. We talk about the games that we're potentially going to lose. Okay, the games that are hard. But we never focus on the games that when you're looking in May, when you're looking in June, you're penciling down as W's. Because those are always the games that we sit here in the fall. Nebraska shows up and plays in Illinois. They play in Northwestern. They play in Minnesota. And they lose every single year. They show up, they get cocky. The betting line says Nebraska's going to win by a touchdown, by 2 touchdowns. The team isn't ready to go. The fan base isn't ready to go. And we get embarrassed. We get memed. We get trolled. And that's the difference between Nebraska having a great season and a losing season. So let's talk about it. Can Nebraska actually win the games they're supposed to win this year? When they are favored, can they not only win but cover the spread even? Because I want to start off with an honest conversation. Let's talk this Cincinnati game. Because I think a lot of Nebraska fans right now just expect this Cincinnati game to be super easy. That's, Cincinnati, they only won 5 games last year. You know, they weren't very good. They're in the Big 12 now. They're making not that greatest of an adjustment. We're playing in Arrowhead. It's going to be a rowdy environment. Let's just pencil that down as a W. Let me remind you guys, I'm going to give you a statistic here. In the past 8 seasons, in Nebraska's first Power 4 game of the year, they have went a combined 1-7. Let me repeat that. In the past 8 seasons, in Nebraska's first non-conference game of the year, they've went 1-7. They've won 1 time against a Power 4 opponent in their first matchup of the year. And that was actually last season against Colorado. Before then, they've lost to the Illinois of the world, the Northwesterns of the world, the Oregons. They've lost to Colorado 3 times in that span. All 3 of those games they should have won. So I saw that to say this. Nebraska does not play very well to begin seasons. They just don't. They always come out flat. They make a lot of sloppy mistakes they shouldn't make. Can that change this year? How sold are we that in a neutral environment, Nebraska's going to show up and take care of business like they should? Because we felt that way going to Northwestern in 2022 when we were playing in Ireland. Look how that happened. And Northwestern was not only awful, they were one of the worst teams in all of college football. That was their only win that season. Can Nebraska flip the script? I don't have the answer to that. But that's Matt Rhule's thing, that he got to figure that out. Can you win the games you're supposed to win? Can you game plan at elite level? Now, I will say this about Matt Rhule, that he understands he's not the greatest game planner in the world. Okay, he's very honest about that. If you expect Matt Rhule to out-game plan Kirk Ferentz or Ryan Day, it's not going to happen. He's admitted to that. He's not a genius. He's not even a Tom Osborne in that regard. Okay, but what Matt Rhule is he's a leader of men, and he's a guy who's going to bring the best out of every player. So what Matt Rhule does to fill in the gaps is he brings in elite analysts who are going to help him game plan, like a Phil Snow that he brought in. Okay, and that's why I expect Nebraska's game planning. We're actually going to show up for these, the games that we're supposed to win because we brought in guys like Dana Holgorsen and Phil Snow. Because we have the elite game planners now. So that's why I'm confident that Nebraska is going to flip the script and win some of these games they normally don't win. But that's a big question mark. You go down the list, right? Michigan State's a game that I think a lot of Nebraska fans are expecting to win. We have not fared well against Michigan State over the past couple years. Last time we played them, guess what happened? We lost in Lansing, right? Maryland. It's a game that, Maryland was terrible last year. But you play on the road, Once again, last time you played Maryland, guess what happened? You lost there at home. Then you play Minnesota. We are 1-7 against Minnesota in the last 7 years. We have not beat that team since 2018. And you play them on the road, a place that, again, the last time we were there, start of the 2023 season, we lost. Okay. Northwestern in there. That's a team that we've actually fared pretty well against. We'll see, but Northwestern, they're always very disciplined. Okay, USC, you play them at home this year. USC is very talented, but they're not very disciplined. It's kind of an opposite of Northwestern. UCLA, you had no business losing them last year. So I said all that to say this. I think every year Nebraska fans, we focus on the big games, the Michigan game, the Penn State game, the Iowa game. Oh, can we, actually finally beat a top 25 opponent? That, in my opinion, that doesn't matter at all. Okay. Doesn't matter. I don't really care if we beat Penn State or not. I don't think we will. But in order for Nebraska to be competitive this year, to be in the mix for the cultural playoff, I'm not saying we're going to make it, but to be in the mix, to be talked about, to be relevant, there's this misconception that we just need to have these great wins. We don't need to have these great wins. We just need to take care of what's in front of us. We need to beat the teams that we're supposed to beat, and we need to beat them badly. Okay, Indiana last year. Indiana didn't have a bunch of great wins. Okay, they didn't beat Ohio State. They didn't beat Notre Dame in the cultural playoff. But what they did do was these teams that weren't that good, that were on their schedule, like in Nebraska, they took care of business. And that's all it takes to make the cultural playoff. You don't need phenomenal wins. You just need to win the games you're supposed to win. And if you get upset, that can drastically alter your season. Okay, last year, Matt Rhule did not win the games he was supposed to win. He just didn't. We didn't beat Illinois, a game that we were favored in at home. We did not beat Illinois. We did not beat UCLA, a game that we should have blown them out. We did not beat USC. We should have won that USC game. Okay. We did not win Iowa, and we outplayed Iowa 99% of the time. Okay, you go back to 2023. We lost 6 straight at the end of the year. I'm not sold on Matt Rhule being the greatest game plan in the world to win these games that we're supposed to win. That's why I'm concerned about this. That's why we need to talk about it in this video. Because Matt Rhule has a track record of blowing games and losing games that we're supposed to win. That's just the facts. But the reason why I'm confident about this year is because Matt Rhule has understood his flaws, and he says, hey, I'm not the best game planner. I'm going to bring in a couple guys to help me. I'm going to bring in the Holgersons to the world. I'm going to bring the Phil Snows to the world. I'm going to get opinions from other coaches around the country. And then when the game gets tight, and when we're game planning on Friday for a big-time Saturday opponent, I'm going to be ready. And we're going to take care of business this year. So, in my opinion, that's the biggest storyline. Can Nebraska win the games they're supposed to win? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, what you're thinking. I absolutely want to hear what you have to say. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be grab, go on Matt Rhule, and I'll see you in the next one.